Now, on to the part that everyone has been looking forward to. Characters! Writing characters can be very difficult, but here are some tips to help you create ones that feel more real. Fashion. This ties into the 5 W's and 1 H. Characters that have lived in the place your story takes place may have a certain fashion sense. Big city, more modern looks. Small village, more simplistic or perhaps traditional clothing. Cold town, beanies and winter jackets. Perhaps somebody has just recently moved in. Give them clothing that stands out from the rest. Clothing from where they're from. Where and when the story takes place will help decide what your characters will wear. Relationships. Relationships with other people in the story will help dictate their personality. Is one of them a younger brother to someone else? Perhaps he'll be less educated and taking responsibility. You don't have to think of every single person in a character's life, but having an idea of how their personal lives are like will help make them more interesting and dynamic. Hobbies. Another way to give characters more depth is to give them a free time hobby, like art or sport. Are they a surfer? Give them a tan. Are they a writer? Let them walk around with books or study in a library. Problems. Give them an inner art of conflict as well. Are they stressed for a test? Perhaps have an annoying sibling, or perhaps don't feel comfortable with their gender. Give your side characters problems that they'll have to solve throughout the story. Giving them a problem can also let you take a break from the main character's story and give your viewers a fresh breath of air. Show, don't tell. Sometimes you don't have to give your character a list of qualities the second they're introduced. Don't tell us Jaden is a playboy. Show it. If he isn't going to be seen with girls, then just don't make him a playboy. We don't need to be told that Bailey is a bully. Show her taking pictures of someone and laughing. Your audience is smart, so show us more of the world in characters, not letters. Now, onto the biggest problem with most characters in Gacha Life series and movies. Similarities and tropes. I'm going to go through several characters and give you examples on how to improve them. The main character. The main character is usually a shy girl who is new to school. She shouts a lot, loves cookies, and always gets her way without working for it. She's usually very shallow since she's a self-insert. A suggestion is to make the shyness more of an obstacle and make her try to overcome it during the story. She doesn't have to stop being shy, but letting her make more decisions herself can help show development. Also, self-inserts are fine, depending on the content. Just make your character fit into the universe naturally. Use my previous character tips for reference. Remember, you aren't writing about yourself. You're writing about a character. The love interest. The love interest is usually the best-looking guy in the movie or show, and is always a bad boy of some sort. He's one of the few characters that change, but never really in a way that impacts the story. He's a smoker, but he'll stop immediately if the main character tells him to. A suggestion to improve that would be to make his problems more like obstacles to overcome, just like with the main character. You know, smoking really isn't that easy to stop. It takes cutting back so that the body doesn't suffer anxiety attacks. Also, if you want to have one of those moments where he realizes how abusive he's been, give him time. Show us that he has a hard time facing it, and make his development more gradual. He may have a scene later on where he comes clean and apologizes to everyone. Also, why does the love interest have to be a bad boy? Use the why. Why does it matter? Can't he be a jock? Or maybe the class president? Does he have to be a stranger to the main character to begin with? Make them friends. The best friend. The best friend is usually a shallow pusher. They always pairs or ships the main character and whatever person talks to them. The best friend is rarely developed or is 100% more interesting than the main character because of the way they fit into the universe. A suggestion to improve the best friend is to make them a bit more different from the main character. If they're too similar, there's little to tell them apart in the story. The best friend should help the main character and their friendship should, have some sort of value to the story. Give the viewers a reason to care about them. The main character should have a reason their best friend is their best friend, and they should be learning from each other. Another important thing to do with characters is give them flaws. Flaws aren't just mental disorders or being a player. Here are a few examples of ways to give your characters flaws and how it affects them. This is Zoe. Zoe is homeschooled and has now been given an opportunity to attend a public school. Because of her lack of social interaction, she doesn't know how to talk to people. She's gullible and can't tell when people are lying to her. She's overall trusting because the people she's been around have been people very close to her. So, when Zoe meets someone new, she could be very awkward and not pick up on any red flags. Eric is a very popular guy in school. He's dated every girl at least once. The reason he does it is because he's grown up in a way that has spoiled him and makes him think he doesn't have to worry about anyone or take responsibility for anything. He gets together with whoever he wants and gets dumped for his irresponsibility. He is very irresponsible and usually makes his girlfriends do lots of work for him. So, in any social situation, he won't sympathize or understand how other people feel and expect them to only care about him. Flaws are what makes your characters human. Flaws are usually things that make you less perfect that you can't quite change about yourself. Flaws can't be solved like problems. They can improve but not disappear. Zoe can find people that help her learn, but she will still be quite gullible, and Eric could learn to sympathize, but will still forget how his words can affect people. All characters should have a conclusion drawn before, during, and after all conflicts. For example, the main character gets cheated on. At first, they thought they could trust their loved one until they found out what they've done. When they find out, they maybe have a mental breakdown and cry a lot. They should be given a little time to process and get over their relationship. They break up. In the end, the character will not like their ex and whoever they cheated with. Let's think. How does this affect the people around? Let's think into how the ex's friends feel. At first, they probably think that they're pretty cool and loves the main character, or whoever got dumped. Then, they're unsure of who the ex has become and if he's been lying to them when they break up. Now, here's the fun part. Not all the friends have to draw the same conclusion. Give individual friends their own conclusion. Here are some examples. Ben. Ben thinks that what the ex did was wrong and doesn't want to be around them. Robin accuses the main character of not being there for them enough and forgive the ex. Jay wants to still defend the ex, but blames the person the ex used to cheat. See how much more complicated this gets? And how you sort of start to wonder if they'll change their minds? That's some real thrill. Of course, they can change more throughout the story. This is just how they react to an event firsthand. But giving your characters individuality and decisions makes you sort of feel like there's a lot more going on, making your story more intriguing. Not everyone should have to love or hate your character, or think much of them whatsoever. Go crazy, berserker. This is probably going to be a really long video, but I hope you all find this video useful for your gacha stories. I hope you all feel more inspired to write and create. Feel free to comment if there's something on your mind or something you think I've missed. Until some other time I upload, goodbye!